Picture this. You finally slow down. You stop pushing so hard. You stop grinding late nights, chasing the next milestone, proving yourself every single day. You think you've earned the right to rest, to enjoy what you built, to let the relationship breathe. And that's when it happens. Her tone changes. Her patience thins. Her respect, subtle at first, begins to evaporate. Not because you became weak, not because you failed, but because you stopped moving forward. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. In modern relationships, love doesn't collapse when you fall. It collapses when you stall. Men are taught a dangerous lie, that once you've proven yourself, once you've secured the relationship, the job, the lifestyle, you can finally relax. But biology doesn't reward rest. It rewards trajectory. The moment your forward motion slows, the dynamic shifts. You'll notice it in small ways. She questions decisions she once trusted. Encouragement turns into critique. Support turns into supervision. Admiration turns into expectation. You didn't change your character. You didn't become irresponsible. You simply stopped advancing. And to her subconscious, stagnation looks like decline. Men confuse stability with momentum. They think holding ground is enough. It isn't. Because respect isn't a reward for past effort. It's a response to present direction. Female attraction didn't evolve around comfort. It evolved around progress. For most of human history, a man who stopped moving forward didn't just lose status. He lost relevance. The female brain is sensitive to trajectory, not just where you are, but where you're going. Are you expanding or contracting? Growing or coasting? Climbing or settling? This isn't cruelty. It's evolutionary logic. Your ambition signals future security. Your discipline signals protection. Your direction signals leadership. Leadership cannot be static. When forward motion stops, uncertainty enters. And uncertainty kills respect long before it kills love. Here's what's happening neurologically. The female brain constantly recalibrates value, subconsciously assessing status, competence, and potential. When you're advancing, her nervous system associates you with anticipation, bonding, and safety through competence. But when advancement stalls, the brain shifts. Anticipation drops, novelty fades, predictability increases. Predictability without upward motion feels like risk. Not dramatic risk, existential risk. That's when respect becomes conditional, desire becomes transactional, connection becomes effortful. She doesn't decide to lose respect. Her nervous system does it quietly, automatically. The loss of respect announces itself if you know what to watch for. She second-guesses authority she once trusted. Every action feels evaluated. Comparisons slip into conversation. Enthusiasm fades. Tone sharpens. Contempt creeps in disguised as humor. These aren't mood swings. They're signals. Modern culture sets men up to fail here. It teaches that stability is the goal, that arrival equals success, that once you make it, you can stop striving. But stability without momentum isn't security, it's decay. Social media amplifies this. Every day she sees men advancing, or appearing to. Promotions, travel, visibility. Even when it's illusion, the comparison is real. Meanwhile, men are told to be content without being taught how to stay dangerous. The result is men who become comfortable, and instincts that interpret comfort as decline. Once respect erodes, everything else follows. Communication becomes conflict. Affection becomes obligation. Intimacy becomes leverage. No amount of reassurance fixes it. No explanation restores it. Because respect isn't rebuilt with words. It's rebuilt with movement. And if movement doesn't return, the relationship collapses quietly. Here's the uncomfortable reality. Men don't get to stop advancing. Not because women are cruel, but because biology doesn't negotiate. Worth isn't stored, it's demonstrated daily. That doesn't mean burning yourself out. It means purposeful progression. Forward motion can slow, it cannot stop. Always be building something, a skill, a body, a mission. Protect your trajectory. Never trade direction for comfort. Maintain edge. Growth should always feel slightly uncomfortable. Lead yourself first. Respect starts with self-governance. Rest strategically. Recover to advance, not to stagnate. Because the man who keeps moving forward never has to demand respect. It arrives naturally. Women don't lose respect because you fail. They lose respect when you stop becoming. And once you understand that, you stop fearing rest and start respecting momentum. Because the man who never stops advancing never has to wonder where the respect went. Men are told that stability is the goal, that peace is the finish line, that once you've built enough, you can finally stop striving. But stability without momentum isn't security, it's decay. Social media magnifies this dynamic relentlessly. Every day she sees men advancing, or at least appearing to. Promotions, trips, influence, status. Even when it's illusion, the comparison is real. And biology doesn't care whether the threat is real or imagined. Meanwhile, men are told to be content, to slow down, to appreciate what they have. But no one teaches them how to remain dangerous while doing it. So men become comfortable, and comfort gets misread as decline. Once respect erodes, everything else follows. Communication becomes conflict. Affection becomes obligation. Intimacy becomes leverage. At this stage, no amount of reassurance fixes it. No apology restores it. No conversation saves it. Because respect isn't rebuilt with promises, it's rebuilt with movement. And if movement doesn't return, the relationship collapses quietly. Not always with cheating, not always with explosive arguments, often with indifference. Emotionally first, physically later. The man senses it before it happens. He feels the distance growing. He feels the air change. But he doesn't understand why. He thinks he needs to give more, explain more, open up more, slow down more. And that only accelerates the loss. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men never hear. Men don't get to stop advancing. Not because women are cruel, not because relationships are rigged, not because society hates men, but because biology doesn't negotiate. Your worth isn't stored. It isn't banked. It isn't remembered. It's demonstrated daily. That doesn't mean destroying yourself. It doesn't mean endless hustle. It doesn't mean grinding until you're empty. It means purposeful progression. Forward motion can slow. It can evolve. It can change form. But it cannot stop. Advancement doesn't always mean more money. Sometimes it means stronger discipline, better health, sharper boundaries, clearer purpose. Sometimes it means building a skill no one can take from you. Sometimes it means building a body that reflects self-respect. Sometimes it means building a life that doesn't revolve around validation. Always be building something. Protect your trajectory like it's sacred. Never trade direction for comfort. Never confuse peace with stagnation. Maintain an edge. growth should always feel slightly uncomfortable. Lead yourself first. Respect begins with self-governance. Rest strategically. Recover to advance, not to settle. Because the man who keeps moving forward doesn't have to ask for respect. He doesn't have to demand desire. He doesn't have to explain his worth. It arrives naturally. Women don't lose respect because you fail. They lose respect when you stop becoming. And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop fearing rest. You stop chasing reassurance. You stop negotiating attraction. You stop confusing love with comfort. You start respecting momentum. You realize that forward motion is not about approval. It's about alignment. Alignment between who you are today and who you're becoming tomorrow. The man who understands this doesn't panic when things feel quiet. He doesn't chase when energy shifts. He doesn't plead when respect wavers. He moves. He advances. He builds. And that movement alone restores order. Because the man who never stops advancing never has to wonder where the respect went.